Over the last few months, the Amazon seller community has been hit with two massive policy shifts that caused an absolute chaos. The first one delayed the seller payouts, and the second one threatened to completely change how sellers pay for their advertising. And now that the dust had settled and the initial panic is over, it is a good time to reflect and discuss the aftermath. Hello, I'm Ruben Alikanian, founder of PAS Professional Amazon Services, and today we're breaking down exactly what happened, what the real fallout has been for the seller's cash flow, and my honest take on whether you should actually be worried about either of these changes. So let's get into it. Starting with the first major update, Amazon's changing payout schedule to 7 days after the delivery. This policy is officially called a delivery date based reserve, or DD+7 for short, and has a timeline that dates way back in late September of 2025, when Amazon sent emails to a specific group of sellers, mostly long-tenured North American accounts that have never been on a reserve, had grandfathered daily payouts, or were paid based on shipment dates. The email stated that on March 12, 2026, their accounts would be migrated to DD+7 standard. Here, how it works in a plain English. When a customer buys your product, that money does not go into your available balance right away. Instead, Amazon waits until the carrier confirms the package has been delivered. Once it is delivered, a 7-day clock starts ticking. Only after those 7 calendar days pass does the money finally move into your available balance to be paid out on your next pay cycle. Since the official rollout on March 12th, it has been rough transition, including for some of the brands within our agency, with some sellers reporting funds being held even longer than it promised. It means your cash is going to be tied up for an extra every single cycle, and that was understandable. But here's my take on a DD+7 payout change. And I don't really have a strong opinion on this because mostly we can really do nothing about it. And then at the end of the day, it's just a schedule adjustment. Yes, it is unfortunate. And yes, it delays your payment for 7 days. You're going to have to readjust your cash flow models to account for that missing week of capital. But if this 7-day delay breaks your business, you may already have a cash flow problems. For sellers who are already struggling with that, this is obviously going to make things even worse. And it's moreover confirmed my prediction earlier 2026 that unfortunately for small sellers who don't have their finances and operations tightened up are going to struggle the most this year. But if you're on a tight ship, this is just a logistical annoyance, but not a business killer. Now, let's talk about the second announcement that caused a massive sellers revolt. Amazon stopping sellers from using credit cards to pay for the Amazon ads. On April 2nd, 2026, a select group of high-spending sellers quietly received an email notification. It stated that beginning April 15th, their advertising cost would be automatically deducted from their retail proceeds, and credit cards would no longer be accepted as a primary payment method. There was no public announcement, which immediately sparked a panic and confusion across the seller community. Sellers absolutely lost their minds over this. And in fact, a private group of high-volume merchants organized a coordinated boycott, planning to turn off all their ad spend on the April 15th to protest the change, which made a national news with the CNBC. But because of that massive pushback, Amazon buckled. On April 14th, just 1 day before the deadline, they pushed an official update on their Amazon ads blog. They announced that they are deferring the credit card ban until the August 1st of 2026 to give sellers more time to be prepared. They also threw in a sweetener, offering affected accounts $2,500 a month in a click credit for 5 months to ease the transition. Here is why sellers are so upset about losing the ability to pay for ads with a credit card for those who are not catching up. There are 2 reasons. First is the cashback. If you're spending $50,000 a month on ads and getting 2% cash back on your credit card, it is $1,000 of pure profit every month, or $12,000 a year. And out of nowhere, that goes away. The second is the float. When you put a spend on a credit card, you get about 30 days to pay that bill. Meanwhile, Amazon is paying out your sales revenue every 2 weeks. That gave sellers a nice cushion of working capital. By forcing you to deduct ad spend directly from your account balance, Amazon is killing that float and keeping that 3% credit card processing fees basically for themselves. Now here's my personal take on a credit card ban and why I actually think it is a good thing for some businesses. I know it is unfortunate news for the sellers relying on that 2 to 3% cashback to pad their bottom line. And I know I may get a lot of heat for saying this, but on my own personal example, I own two brands, admittedly, both sub-million-dollar brands at this point. But I've never used credit cards to pay for my Amazon ads. Why? Because paying directly from my account balance gives me incredibly tight control over my cash flow. I know exactly what is being spent on advertising in real time. I'm never relying on borrowed credit card float, and I never have to worry about credit card issues or surprise bills in the future. And the fact is, a lot of the big, highly profitable sellers that we work with at PAS operate the exact same way. Relying on credit card points is not a growth strategy. Now, last, if you want a team of experts who know how to navigate Amazon's constant policy changes and scale your brand safely, my agency, PAS, can help. Click the link in the description to book a free audit with us today. Hit that like button, subscribe for more Amazon updates, and I'll see you on the next video.